The world of The Witcher was originally a world of elves, dwarves, and gnomes. But then there was an event known as the Conjunction of Spheres. It was a collision of universes within the multiverse. The Conjunction of Spheres brought various monsters to the land, as well as humans. In order to fight the monsters, elves taught humans how to master chaos and use its power to perform magic. The Northern Kingdoms established the Brotherhood of Sorcerers and opened magic schools such as Aretuza and Banard. Then, they created the first Witcher, a mutated human engineered to be able to kill monsters. And they did just so. The Witchers killed a lot of monsters. But as time went on, there were fewer and fewer monsters to kill, which meant that Witchers were earning less and less coin each year. As a result, one of the Witcher mages began to create new mutant hybrids, and he let them out into the world. These new crossbreeds killed people, so that was not a good look for the Witchers. A sorceress named Tetra, who had a personal vendetta against Witchers, rallied her king and her people to her side. Tetra attacked Kaer Morhen, and they killed the mages who knew how to create Witchers, so new Witchers cannot be created, and only a few survived. One of those few survivors was a young Geralt of Rivia. Geralt of Rivia is not actually from Rivia. He came up with that name himself. Geralt's mother was a sorceress, and for reasons, she gave Geralt to Vesemir, where Geralt was trained to fight. Geralt underwent the process known as the Trial of Grasses, a process that only 3 in 10 boys survive. But Geralt was very resilient, so they put him through extra experiments that the other boys did not undergo. As a result, Geralt now has white hair. Witchers often winter at Kaer Morhen, but when spring comes, they head out into the world to earn money killing monsters. Geralt came across his first monster not 50 miles from the Witcher Keep of Kaer Morhen. The first monster that Geralt ever killed was a human, a man who was trying to rape a girl. But the girl didn't thank him. When she looked at Geralt, she screamed and passed out. That was the first of many times that Geralt himself would be looked at as a monster. It happened again in Blaviken. Stregobor asked Geralt to kill Renfri, and Renfri asked Geralt to kill Stregobor, but he denied them both because Geralt never takes coin to kill humans, and he would not choose the lesser evil. Unfortunately, Renfri forced Geralt to make a choice. In order to protect the town, Geralt killed Renfri's band, and then he was forced to kill Renfri. Afterwards, Geralt tried to stop Stregobor from taking and studying Renfri's body, but Stregobor painted Geralt as a butcher, earning Geralt the infamous name, the Butcher of Blaviken. Elsewhere, the quarter-elf girl named Yennefer was born a hunchback. Her father sold her off to Tessia de Vries, rectoress of Aretuza. Yennefer was broken down, so she slit her own wrist in an attempt to die. But Tessia saved her life, and over time, Tessia began to look at Yennefer as a daughter. While training to be a sorceress, Yennefer saw what happened to girls who failed to ascend, and Yennefer and Istrid began a relationship. But Istrid is a rat, so he told Stregobor that Yennefer was part elf, and as a result, the chapter put her aside for Fringilla. But Yennefer wasn't done fighting, so she demanded a transformation and then impressed the King of Aedirn on the dance floor. Yennefer became his mage. Unfortunately, the transformation came at the cost of being fertile, and Yennefer later found out that the kings and queens were scumbags, so Yennefer went rogue and focused on finding a cure for her infertility. Meanwhile, Geralt continued on the path, and his next journey was indirectly connected to Yennefer. Yennefer's real father was half-elf, and he was killed during the Great Cleansing, which is a disgusting way of saying that humans killed a lot of non-humans, such as elves. Some of the elves who survived fled to the edge of the world, where they are struggling to survive. Former King Filavandrel is one of those elves. Filavandrel thought about killing Geralt so that he could not out the elves to the humans. But in the end, Filavandrel saw that Geralt was an outcast, just like himself, so Filavandrel let Geralt and Jaskier go free. A few years later, Triss asked Geralt to help her with the problem, a Striga. It would not have been an easy fight, but Geralt could have just killed the Striga. Instead, he risked his life to remove the curse from the princess, and if not for the help of Triss, Geralt may have died from his wounds. But he didn't die. Geralt survived, and Queen Calanthe hired him to do something. He never agreed to this, but Queen Calanthe had wanted Geralt to kill Lord Urchian of Erlenwald, aka Duny. Of course, Geralt wouldn't do that. Geralt does not take coin to kill humans. Instead, Geralt saved Duny's life. Geralt did not want anything in payment, but duty insisted, so Geralt tempted fate by casually demanding the Law of Surprise. As fate would have it, Pavetta was pregnant. This is when Geralt's destiny became tied to Ciri. And Geralt didn't stop with Ciri. 7 years later, Geralt met Yennefer of Vengerberg. They fell in love on day one, so Geralt risked his own life to run back inside and save Yennefer's life with his last wish. And what was that last wish? Check out the link above. Afterwards, Geralt and Yennefer made love, but unfortunately, Geralt left before she woke up, and that broke her heart. Over the coming years, Geralt and Yennefer would see each other from time to time, but Yennefer didn't want to get hurt. So even though she loved Geralt as much as he loved her, she would always leave while Geralt slept. However, Geralt and Yennefer stumbled into each other yet again on the dragon hunt. They slept together, and when they woke, no one was gone. Very cute. But things would soon go south. Yennefer told Geralt that she wanted to kill the dragon in hopes of healing her infertility, and Geralt laughed at her, telling her that the fertility cures are make-believe. He also said that she would be a terrible mother. That was literally the most hurtful thing that he could have said to her. In the end, Yennefer didn't kill a dragon. In fact, she helped Borch 3 Jackdaws protect his adopted baby dragon. Afterwards, Valentin Trenmirth said that he could see why Geralt didn't want to lose Yennefer, and that triggered her. Yennefer began to worry about Geralt's mysterious last wish. She began to worry that the love that she felt for Geralt wasn't real. So Yennefer yelled at Geralt for having bound a child to him and leaving her all alone. Then she left. Geralt then told off Jaskier, and he returned to Cintra to go check on Ciri. When Geralt got to Cintra, Calanthe tried to give him a fake Ciri, but Geralt called her out on that. He then tried to leave Cintra without taking Ciri, but Queen Calanthe imprisoned him instead. And then the war reached Cintra. Calanthe and Iced fought Nilfgaard outside the walls of Cintra, and Cahir shot down Iced. Calanthe then returned to Ciri and told her to go find Geralt. Unfortunately, Cahir killed Ciri's escort, and he caught up to Ciri, but she escaped due to an unplanned outburst of magic. Meanwhile, Mousekh held off Nilfgaard as long as he could, but eventually he caved. Calanthe took her own life, and Mousekh was captured, killed, cloned by the Adonis Doppler, and sent out to find Ciri. Ciri joined a refugee camp, but they were attacked at night, so she fled with Dara. They spent time in Brokilon Forest with the Dryads, and Ciri drank from the source, then had a vision of a tree that talked to her out in the desert. Then, fake Mousekh showed up. So Ciri left with him, but she could tell by his answers that he was not the real Mousekh. So they got into a little scuffle, and Ciri ran off. The Doppler caught her and tied her up, but Dara found Ciri and freed her while the Doppler visited Cahir. The Doppler cloned Cahir, fought him, and one of them ran off. The Cahir who stayed connected with Fringilla, and they made a plan to push north. Speaking of the war, Nilfgaard conquered from the south. All that separates the northern kingdoms from Nilfgaard is the Yaruga River. A key crossing point of that river is at Sodden. The northern mages got together to discuss the war, and Fringilla had shown up and told them that Nilfgaard's war was with Cintra and Cintra alone. So half of the mages chose to sit out the fight, but half of the mages chose to go down to Lower Sodden and prevent Nilfgaard from crossing over into the northern realms. And it was good that they did that, because Nilfgaard attacked in force. One of the Cahirs defeated Vilgefortz one-on-one, and Fringilla's mages used dark magic. But the people of Sodden and the northern mages fought hard, and Yennefer reserved her chaos and unleashed fire, annihilating the Nilfgaardian forces and saving the north, at least for now. But it came at a cost. Coral died, Triss was badly wounded, and when the dust settled, Vilgefortz killed one of his own men, and no one saw him do it. While all of that went down, Ciri was in the area. She stole a horse and set up camp alone. Her former friend tried to kidnap her and turn her over to Nilfgaard, but once again, she exploded with magic, killing them all. The next morning, Zola found her and took Ciri under her wing. Meanwhile, Geralt escaped from his prison cell in Cintra, but he was unable to find Ciri, so he left the city and came across a man named Jurga. Geralt saved Jurga from ghouls, so Jurga offered Geralt the Law of Surprise. As fate would have it, Geralt's mother came across them on their ride to Jurga's for the first time since she gave Geralt to Vesemir, and Geralt's mother saved his life. Then she left. And as fate would have it, Jurga returned home to a child's surprise, Ciri. So the season ended with Geralt and Ciri finally coming together. The White Wolf and the Sword of Destiny. But the Sword of Destiny has 2 blades, and Geralt is just one of them. So, in order for their family to be complete, they need something more.
Who is Yennefer?